Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. Today we are going over the weekly news stories and there are some big moments that have occurred recently. Apologies for not being around for the past couple of weeks. I have been studying for my cloud certification, which I passed by the way, so happy days. So we are back at it now to cover stories like the Pico 4 being more powerful than the Quest 2, the Quest Pro being riddled with issues, Pimax releasing something questionable and amazing, Final Fantasy XIV VR, new games, new updates, and so much more. I also have a new $100 Oculus store giveaway, and I'm doing it differently this time based on your feedback. So I'm going to pick a random person who is subscribed to the channel and also leaves a comment on my videos over the next couple of weeks. It seems the system I was using, Gleam, is a data collector, and I don't want you guys to be uncomfortable, so we are no longer using that. So enough chin wagging, let's get started. Starting off with a story that some of you may be very happy to hear and some of you rather sad, but please let me know if you've experienced any of these problems. So the Quest Pro seems to be having a few issues, which is to be kind, and when it costs $1,500 you wouldn't expect this to be so. It should be fantastic. It leads me to believe this headset was rushed, because over the previous year it became very apparent there are things like the Oculus logo is still on the controllers, the slot for old hardware rather than a redesign, the color overlay on black and white low quality cameras instead of a high quality native color pass through. It's just so clear that this headset was not ready for release. So I think it's kind of fair to say it's been a rather unfortunate life cycle for this product, and more issues are now popping up, and pun intended, because reports have been coming in that there is microphone popping, which I did actually experience when playing with Mateo311 in Among Us. He and others had also brought up heating issues with the controllers, getting a pop-up saying your controllers are overheating, let them cool down. And myself personally, I'm having consistent controller tracking issues where my remote's being tracked correctly, it's matching my movement as you would expect, but the device seems to be a few feet away rather than its actual position in my hand, and it's just unplayable. And to add insult to injury, there's even Wi-Fi issues that should be addressed in its next update. I did not run into any of these issues when I was doing a wireless PC VR comparison on the channel because I had my router configured correctly, thankfully. So please check out that video if you were interested. So these Wi-Fi issues occur when using a dynamic frequency range on your router, or router if you're American. I know you're going to comment saying router, I get it all the time. So usually there's nothing wrong with using this kind of channel. It was designed to reduce performance issues, but now it's actually causing major performance issues. But that's enough negativity, at least for now. Let's move on to something more exciting. So now, is the Pico 4 more powerful than the Quest 2? It's a question I see popping up all of the time because they are using the same chipset, but the Pico 4 has better cooling, it has open vents, and a larger fan. So recently, Red Matter 2 has taken advantage of the Pro's eye tracking for dynamic foveated rendering. It's now taking advantage of the Pico's additional overhead, which is apparently around 20% due to much better cooling. So the title Red Matter runs at a higher resolution on the Pico than it does on the Quest 2. The Quest 2 clock speed of its GPU is maxed out at 490 MHz. The Pico 4 is set to 587. So in-game on the Pico 4, using pancake lenses and a higher resolution display, you can expect even better visuals with less anti-aliasing, which is my enemy of VR. I can't stand it. I hate the aliasing. So the Quest 2's anti-aliasing runs at 4x, but the Pico 4 only needs to run at 2x. And although this sounds pretty awesome, it's not perfect to reach this higher benchmark, as you do need to have more aggressive fixed foveated rendering on the Pico 4. But since it has a larger FOV, the foveated part is further away from your view, but it is still noticeable. And it's also worth noting the advantage the Pico 4 has not really been brought to fruition in other experiences. The Quest 2 has noticeably better performance in other titles, and that could be due to the optimization for that platform, and then games are just being ported for the Pico 4 to make an extra buck, to make games available. I just found this really interesting, comparing the Pico 4's performance against the Quest 2's, just hopefully people can take advantage of it, because it's there, but if it's not being used, it's kind of pointless. And since we're cycling through all of the devices today, let's talk about Pimax next, and that's not the name of a pucker that is a mix between steak and kidney and chicken and mushroom, because that would be fantastic. This is a technology company who just revealed the craziest hybrid VR headset that I don't even think I would have thought it up. This company is known for pushing the boundaries of VR devices, though they never seem to focus on one thing and perfect it. They just try everything and see what sticks. So this device, the Pimax Portal, is a hybrid device that is part handheld console like the Nintendo Switch or Steam Deck, and part VR headset. So it has your gaming needs on the go, whether you're at home, out and about, it's got you taken care of. The device is going to be available on Kickstarter from the 15th of November. So the handheld part of this device, which will operate as a modular part of a virtual reality headset, it will slot into another device as its screen. That handheld gaming unit will be running on an XR2 Gen 1 chipset, which is already worrying, as we do expect a Generation 2 chip not too long from now. It will also have detachable controllers like the Nintendo Switch, but both the screen body and the controllers can be added to a VR headset unit, and the controllers can have an additional attachment where they become virtual reality tracking controllers as well, which is just bonkers. The claim is it will have a 4K display, which is QLED and HDR supported, and it will run at 144 Hz. It will also have a PPD of 27 and 5 cameras on the back of the device, 4 for tracking and 1 for mixed reality content. The device also supports a modular attachment for a 60 GHz adapter for low latency wireless connectivity, and it will include Wi-Fi 6E as standard out of the box. So this Portal console has a few models. There's 128GB for $300, 256 for $400, and then the HDR 4K 144Hz one is $550. The modular headset, that screen, the actual hardware part pops in a bit like a Google Cardboard, is going to include a battery as well for longer play sessions in VR. But I do worry how secure this is going to be when flicking your head around, because lots of components are loose and slotted in, and maybe over time things just become a bit flimsy. That is a worry. It also has 100 degrees FOV and a 40 PPD for viewing media, which is like aero level quality. That is high quality. That is fantastic. Perfect for watching movies in VR. I did also find it a little amusing that this is almost like another regression of VR, but shown as an advancement. We had high-end PC VR to low-fidelity standalone, and now we're going back once again to the cardboard-style experience, but on steroids. I find it interesting. This article as well goes on and on and on with the devices, the extra accessories, things that come with this, larger models. But if you want to know more, I will link it down below in the description for you to check out, because it just goes on. Pimax need to just stick to one thing and perfect it. They have some really great ideas, interesting tech, but they never just nail it. They just need to just bring it down a bit. We also have new features of the Quest's ecosystem. So they look to be releasing a new official application for PC streaming. This is a feature that they're working on where you can mirror your PC display inside your VR headset, but in your Oculus Home, not using an application like Workrooms or Virtual Desktop. So it could be in your home and act as another menu so you can move it around, and hopefully in future it can be pinned. So whilst playing a game, you can do things like look at your chat, look at your Discord chat, look at your YouTube video that's playing as a tutorial whilst you're trying to do a hard puzzle. Just stuff like that, little things will make such a difference to the gaming experience, instead of just always being like productivity. Because let's be honest, a lot of their user base is us enthusiasts, us gamers. So please cater for us a little bit. And as I said, this is going to streamline productivity. Instead of booting up Workrooms and then setting up your computer, it's just too many clicks. Now you can just put on your headset and open the application, and it's just much more seamless, more integrated. And it will also allow you to multitask with ease, because it's just another window. Resival VR did do a video on this beta application. I don't have access, so I was unable to show it and try it out myself. So we'll link that down below in the description if you want to check it out. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of basic, but you know, it could be fun. You may have also noticed some new home environments as well. A little surprise for you. I won't ruin it. I won't spoil it. I always like going to a new home environment and just going, wow, this place is nice for about 10 seconds, and I just get on with my life. But for those 10 seconds, they're glorious, and I won't take that away from you. So moving on now to some quicker news stories, some interesting tidbits with just the important points, so you can walk away knowing exactly what you need to. The Quickfire news. There's more insight now into Meta's product, and just another highlight that I feel they were rushing the Pro is that we've just found out that the pressure sensor on the controller can also be used as a trackpad. So you can use this to move a cursor on screen, and that's pretty nifty. Maybe this could also be used as like an additional input. You can swipe up for a menu to free up some additional buttons on those controllers. Why was this not mentioned? There was so much about these controllers that were just not mentioned. Next, winter is coming, so hell is freezing over, causing Hellsweeper to be delayed until Q2 of 2023, which surprised me because the game was looking fantastic. Some of the gameplay was just on point, it looked super exciting, and I know other games have also been delayed to the same period. Is that just a coincidence, or is everyone finding a Log4j-like issue where everyone's scrambling to fix it now? But no, that's not the case. It is just a coincidence. It's just sad to see a brilliant game being moved, but we're always happy for a game to be delayed if they're working on making a solid experience. I'm happy to wait if the game is going to deliver. So this is due to the customization available in game. The balancing is a key component to the experience. So they're going to be going through this long iterative process to nail that balancing. We have a new DLC pack for Beat Saber, and this one is The Weekend. I can actually get behind this one. I'm not usually into pop music, but this 10 song pack has some tunes that make you groove, which is ultimately what I want in Beat Saber. Something to get my hips swaying, my head banging. That actually sounds really wrong. Out of context, that doesn't sound great. So here are the songs. They're on screen now, but you do have to spend the price of buying an album to enjoy the album's worth of tracks at $12.99, which is around £10.99. So you may have seen on the channel, I covered a fan-made Stranger Things title. Sadly, that got kicked out of the universe with a cease and desist. And it makes sense now because a Stranger Things VR experience is officially coming from Tenderclaw, a great studio behind It Presents and virtual reality. So this will be a scary title where you will play as Vecna. So you'll invade the dreams of some of the show's stars and use your special abilities to battle enemies. An interesting take to be a baddie, actually. It's quite refreshing. I really like that idea. Hopefully I don't get too invested, though, and become a bit sadistic, because I can do that sometimes. This is expected to come in the winter of 2023, though maybe a Quest 3 launch title? Maybe? And finally, today, Final Fantasy XIV, the VR modification is here. The GitHub will be linked down below in the description, and the game is large. It's around 83 gig, I think, to install, so get downloading if you were interested. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy Online fan. I'm really into the single-player experiences, but this honestly looks fantastic. The Final Fantasy art style, the style of play that we've seen in these teaser videos, this looks brilliant to enjoy in virtual reality. But it does say if you're prone to seizures, do not play this. So I will link that down below in the description, and also the Flat2 VR Discord channel, because you may need some assistance setting up, and they're just fantastic. There's tons of games there, and I've got another mod video that I want to share with you, which is just fantastic. So that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, getting caught up on the latest and greatest in the virtual reality space. Please consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Join the giveaway. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.